this is a tutorial on how to create a basic formula calculator. So let's say I want to do just part A, where I want to create a program that asks the user for temperature in Fahrenheit and then prints out the temperature in Celsius. And there is a formula that I have here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up idle. Okay, and then once I've opened up idle, I'm just going to drag this to the right, and then I'm going to create a new file to put on the left. This way you can see what I'm doing. So first of all, one way you can do this is just copy that, Control copy, and I'm just going to paste that onto here. Okay, and then just press enter a couple times just to see what's going on. Okay, now what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to make this a comment, a multi-line comment, so using the three quotes. So that means it's a multi-line comment. And now that I've got this here, I can sort of think about, well, how do I want to tackle this problem? Well, first of all, you'd probably start with using some comments just to outline the steps you're going to do. So the first thing is going to ask for input on Fahrenheit, what the Fahrenheit is, right? Okay, the second thing I'm going to do is calculate Celsius from that. And the last thing is print out results. Okay, now that you sort of outlined the structure of what you need to do, next thing is to actually put code in. So how do you ask for input? Let's put in a variable, let's call it Fahrenheit, and I'm basically going to ask for input. So when I run the program, it's going to ask the user what the Fahrenheit temperature is. So using input, and then in double brackets, double quotes, I'm going to put inside the question, which is enter Fahrenheit value. Okay, and that will basically prompt a question: what is the Fahrenheit? Enter the Fahrenheit value, and then whatever you type in gets stored in here as a string by default. Remember that every input gets stored as a string. Now I want to calculate the Celsius, so let's create another variable called Celsius, and I want to use this formula here. Okay, so just have a bracket, and instead of using this, I'm going to obviously replace it with what this is. So Fahrenheit minus 32, close bracket, times, now use the asterisk symbol because that is the symbol that you use to do multiplications, not x, okay, 5 divided by 9. That should return the value, and then the last thing is to print out results using print. Now, I could do the old way of doing it, which is like Celsius value is, and then comma, and then I can put Celsius, and then close the bracket. Okay, I can do it this old way, or I can use an fString. An fString will allow me to actually get rid of this altogether. Put the f in front of the quote, and then here, because this is the variable that I want to print out, just surround it with curly brackets. So that means it will print this as text, and then we'll see this and it will recognize this as a variable and it'll print out. Now this is going to spit up an error, and I'll show you why. If I run a program now, I'm just going to save it somewhere on my computer, F2C converter. Okay, you'll see on the right here, enter value. Okay, let's put in 100. It's going to come up with an error because it's saying unsupported operand types for string and int. Basically, because this is stored as a string, you're trying to do a calculation with a string, with a text. Okay, so instead of being stored as 100 as a number, it's being stored like 100. Okay, so what you want to do is store it as a number. So how you do it? You can use int, and you can put it around the input, and that will force it, whatever you type in, to be stored as an integer, which means you can do the calculations there. Or you can put it around when you're actually using it. So here, oops, int. Okay, notice that when you open a bracket, you close it. Same here. Okay, now this is overkill. You don't need to do it in both places. Just be aware though that you need to do it at least one place. Up to you how you do it. Now if I run it now, you'll see it will actually work. So enter Fahrenheit value 100, and you can see Celsius value is 37.77777. And that, my friends, is how you do a basic formula calculator.